Grand Rise, last and final video, Coach Paige from Premier Fitness Systems, our virtual movement project class. It's been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed some of the comments and feedback we've gotten so far about you guys enjoying this and being able to participate. And if you're here, if you're tuning in, make sure that you click like, put a comment below, let me know that you have arrived. Again, I'm Coach Paige from Premier Fitness Systems in North Scottsdale, Arizona. So today, we're going to kind of wrap up everything that we've sort of gone over the last 5 weeks. First class, we start off with kind of our foundations, the core, some of the breathing work. We've been able to hit into the feet and learn about how the hips are connected to that. We've gotten into the shoulders and more into the spine and the upper body. So today, hopefully, is going to be a full body tune-up, and we'll be able to hit a little bit of everything. So if you're just tuning in at home, one of the biggest things, one of the best props we're going to be able to utilize today is a non-moving object, and I have this lovely yellow wall that I'm going to be using as well. If you have maybe knees that aren't always super happy being on the ground, remember a folded up blanket, a throw blanket, a very good pillow, kind of firm. I've got a little 2-inch pad here, or you could fold your yoga mat up several times. That's also going to help you be a little bit more comfortable and be able to move efficient. So Grand Rise, again, if you guys are tuning in and you're joining me today, click like, put something in the comments below, let me know that you have arrived and you're here to get started. One of the things that has been a theme over the last couple weeks, if you've caught on and been watching along, is talking about the nervous system and talking about breathing. Now, this is kind of a new thing to the fitness world. Of course, I've been doing yoga for well over 10 years, so it's not really much newness to me, so it makes sense. But there's a couple different things that maybe it might just be quick to talk about in terms of what affects your movement. Okay, your nervous system affects your movement. What does that mean? That means your either emotional state or your stress state, whether you're stressed or not stressed, you're in fight or flight or not, you're angry or you're happy, has an effect on your physical ability to move your body. So that's one thing. Another thing, obviously, can be acute injury or injury in general, can obviously shut down range of motion or impair your ability to move or move a particular joint or joints. Okay. And then lastly, and maybe it's not last, again, there's always going to be several things that are going to lead to this, but inflammation, or maybe better thought of is your ability to expel waste, so whether or not you can actually cycle things out that don't need to be in your body, okay? So if your food and beverage intake is leading to inflammation, but then your body's also not able to excavate or get rid of the bad stuff, so to speak, and I'm making these very good layman terms, then again, that's going to restrict blood flow and movement to the muscle tissue, because the blood isn't cycling around, or think about it like a toilet that's clogged or your kitchen sink that gets clogged. So if you can't expel waste, then you're going to have a backup of the system, and that's going to shut down movement capabilities. And also, again, stress the system, which I just mentioned before. When I'm under stress or duress, sometimes my movement is shut down. Not to be confused with stress adaptations when we're talking about strength training. That's a different topic. So the reason why I want to mention this is because the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to work on expelling air. Just like you pee and poop and you sweat, you also exhale. And these are the ways in which we get rid of toxins or waste products or whatever. So my ability to have a good CO2 tolerance and also expel CO2 out helps me better further deliver oxygen to all my muscle tissues, to all parts of my body. So the oxygen delivery is what allows good movement quality happen, and we do that through breathing, or at least that's one way that we do it. So this one's going to be simple. We're actually going to stay standing. But in order to draw your focus and awareness in a moment here, we are going to close our eyes. So what I want you to do, what we're going to be working on, is we're going to be taking just a very gentle, normal inhalation through the nose. You're going to exhale out all the way, as much as you can. And then you're going to plug your nose. So you're going to pause and retain the exhale. Now when you get that hunger, that air hunger again, that signal that you need to take another breath in, the way you feel when you're underneath the water and you know you got to come up to the surface for air, that's when you're going to let go of your nose, breathe back in, breathe back out, and then you're going to plug your nose. We're going to continue this breath like this for 2 minutes, okay? So get ready with your hand. I'm going to use my right hand. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Long breath out. And hold. Breathing in when you get that hunger for air. Breathing out. And then pinch the nose to hold or retain the exhale. Keep your focus on the task at hand. If you need to adopt a counting system, maybe you become an observer. Can you inhale to the count of 4? Can you exhale to the count of 4? Can you hold your breath for 4? Simply using some sort of monitoring system and keeping your focus and attention on the task at hand, you will do a great job. You guys are already halfway. Let's keep going. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out. Plug the nose. Hold. Four, and at least 4. Maybe you start to notice that you can get to 6. Maybe you've gotten to 8. We're in our home stretch. A couple more cycles. There is no hurry. Stay focused. Stay calm. Stay present. Go ahead and release your hand down. Let your eyes open up. So essentially, much like a triangle, breathing in, breathing out, and then creating a retention or hold. Very easy practice that you can practice first thing in the morning, giving you a better gauge of where you're at. Maybe we'll come back to, again, why the exhale is important or what's happening when we pause and retain the exhale out. But let's go ahead and start to get moving, okay? Now, we're going to be moving quickly. We're going to be moving fast. Just a little bit of breathing. Now we're going to get a little bit spike back up in the heart rate. First thing, super simple. You're jumping in place on 2 feet. I'm going to do my best to still keep my mouth closed and breathe through my nose when I'm not cueing you. I want you to do the same. Okay, let's turn this into a miniature jog in place. So now it's kind of like an alternating left, right, left, right. Get my hands going. Then we're going to do jumping jacks. So open the arms, legs. Then we're going to go high knees. So now it's like that jog, but get your legs up in front. Get a little bit faster tempo. Keep going. Keep going. I think I'm going to lose my mic. Now we're going to do side to side hop. So 2 feet, 2 jump, imaginary line. Okay? Now we're going to hop from one foot to the other. So I'm going to start here on one side, lift this other foot off the ground, hop. These are called skaters. Hop. Left to right, single leg hops, transfer, left to right. Doesn't have to be big, just small. Still practicing breathing through my nose. If that has become challenging, breathe through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. 3, 2, 1. Okay? Standing in place. I'm going to do my best to reach up overhead, bring my palms together, lean back, come forward, dive all the way down, bend the knees, come into a squat. Walk your hands out, top of a plank. Walk back, we're going to reverse. Squat, stand. Bring the arms up overhead, bring the palms together. Scoop your butt underneath as you lean back, staying heavy into your heels. Forward, down, reach for the floor. Whoops, deep squat. Whatever that looks like for you, even if your heels come off the ground, it's all right. Walk out into a plank. Top of a push-up. Again, push through the floor. Don't sink into the ground. Push, push, push. Walk your hands back. Back into those open knees. Buttocks coming down. Stand up. Last one. Bring the palms up overhead. Do your best. Even if your palms don't touch, maybe it's just the fingertips. Press your hip bones forward. Stay heavy into your heels. Soft knees help. Forward and down towards the floor. If you can, then work on pulling your butt underneath you to get into your deep squat. And then walk your hands out into a plank, top of a push-up. Walk back and come back to a standing position. How are you guys doing? Is everyone doing all right? You guys being kosher? Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me? Okay. So I don't see the comments. Back to that standing position. Okay. What I want to try to, thank you. What I want to try to do, again, is if I can bring my palms together, that's good. This is good. It's a good thing, right in front. You see how I'm doing this? My elbows are just a little bit down below the shoulders, so they're not up. No elevated shoulders. Thank you, Jessica. Palms together, elbows down a little bit. Now, if I am mobile enough, if it is not too much of an extreme effort, and by extreme, I mean, if your face makes like squinty face, it's probably too much. Try to bring your elbows together. Okay? So it's like I'm smashing a book or something in between my forearms and my palms in front. Okay? What I want to do is think about reaching my elbows and arms that direction. Not here, but that. So an extra reach. I'll say punch your elbows forward, laser beams coming out. Stay here. We're just going to breathe. And release. Okay? Similar position, but different. I'm going to take my right arm underneath the left. I can bring the backs of the palms together, backs of the arms. Imagine that there is super glue there. Shoot the elbows forward, laser beams coming out. Okay? Now, we're going to reach up, bend, slight bend in the upper back. Look up. And pull down, down, down. Keep driving your elbows forward, down, down. Hunch, round your back, glue your arms together, squeeze really tightly, arm in arm, and then come back to the middle. Flush it out. What we're doing, hopefully you can feel a little bit of that beautiful stretchiness happening on the backside, but at the same time, I need activation in the chest. That's why I'm saying we're going to take those arms again. It's okay if only the palms come together. That's fine. Now I'm going to bring my left arm. I know it might be reversed for the camera, but my left arm is going to go underneath. I'm not only going to push down just a little bit, but also drive outward and away. Okay? So my right arm is really squeezing down into my left, but my left is also pushing back into my right. There's tension in the front of your body in order to get a stretch on the back. So again, I'm going to try to keep myself nice and tall, my sternum slightly lifted, reach back, bend back, look up towards the ceiling, and then hunch back. Think of Notre Dame, hunch back in Notre Dame, hunch, 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 pull, pull, pull forward and push down, and let it go. Okay? Now, like I said, that gives you a stretchy feel on the back. It pulls the shoulder blades away from the midline to open up and let go of any tension that might be there. Now let's work on opening up the front line and activating the back. Again, if you can interlace your hands behind your back, wonderful. Do your best to follow along, okay? Even if your palms cannot touch when you interlace your hands behind, that's all right. Okay? Now, I think it's kind of cool that I got a tattoo here because I think this gives you a little bit of directional understanding with what I want with this one, okay? So I want to avoid exactly how my arm is. Watch me. Okay? I'm going to work on rolling the shoulder back so it's almost like a spiraling backwards. Not easy to do on my left. Okay? And then I'm going to pull down. So can I straighten my elbows? And again, modifications should look like this. It's totally fine when your palms are just like this, slightly away from your tailbone. Okay? So now you can work on pinching your shoulder blades together. Really got a lot of tension. Okay? And again, I'm going to work on leaning back, thrusting my hips forward, belt buckle forward, and then I'm going to fold. Oops. Try not to let my neck drift. My bad. So again, pull down, keep the elbows locked, squeeze the triceps, roll the shoulders back, pinch the blades together. Eyeballs looking up. Imagine there's a tennis ball underneath your neck, underneath your chin. So squeeze the tennis ball and then crunch down. Right at the sternum here. Again, there's that hunchback. Okay, last one, you guys. Pull open. Imagine you've got like a kettlebell behind your back and it's pulling you down with gravity. It's pulling you back. Hip bones coming forward. Sternum stays lifted. See if you can still breathe. Remember, you don't want to breath hold. And then we're just going to reverse. So this is going to be the tough part for this one. To try to hunch down and still squeeze a little bit in the chest and still kind of bend a little bit. Okay? Forward and back, forward and back. Now let it go. Let it go. Woo! Shake. Shake, shake, shake. Let it be loose. Okay? Because now we're going to work on shoulder circles. Chest a little active, back a little active. Now we're going to get, so we did hard tension, now we're going to get loose. Hard tension, now we're going to get loose, okay? I'm going to make my hands into a fist. Try to bring my thumb to touch my knuckle, my middle knuckle, okay? Again, I talked about this the other week. Soft knees, okay? Be light in the knees so you can be heavy into your feet. Spread your toes left to right. So think about your foot taking up a wide surface area. Or imagine there's a towel underneath your feet and you're trying to spread it left to right. Okay? Connect into the ground. Slight pelvic tilt underneath. So if you know you tend to do this, stick your tailbone out and it's flying away, try to pull your tailbone down so your tailbone points into the floor. Again, we're trying to pull some of that magnetism from the earth to create stability and grounding. Fists, thumb, middle knuckle, arms are down by the sides of your body. Maybe it'd be better if all goes sideways for you guys. Okay? Shoulder circles. So your shoulders can come forward, they can come up, they can come back, and then they can go down. Watch the tattoo. Hopefully it looks, roll in, come up, roll back, and then down. So there's a 3D circle that's happening. And it's not, maybe you don't think so much about your shoulder itself. Maybe you think about your shoulder blades. The shoulder blades will pull away from each other. They will go up to the sky. They will pull together in the back, and then they will start to spread down towards the side of my body, towards the side of my rib cage. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Okay? Now, we're going to reverse that movement. We're going to go back, up, front, and down. Back, up, front, and down. Now, I said make a fist. I want you to keep your elbows locked. Imagine that you have these heavy milk jugs, or again, dumbbells, kettlebells, something heavy in your hand. This isn't just like this. I'm actually creating tension as I move through my joint range of motion. Okay? Let it go, shake it out. We're going to go now move into the hips a little bit. And again, I want to do a lot of this from our feet. So instead of going down to the ground, we did a lot of grounded movement already. Okay, so this is where your non-moving object, bam, comes into play. Okay, so coffee table that's really heavy, a couch that really won't move or is against a wall. You need something to ground into, okay? So good, such good stuff here, okay? So what I want to do to work on my hips today is the first thing is working on a split squat position or split stance. You guys are going to love it way better if you can get from the side, don't you? Right, Jess? Okay. First and foremost, I'm actually going to use my heel and the ball of foot, okay, at the baseboard, okay? This is just going to help me figure out where to position the weight. So right now, I'm going to shift my weight back, okay? Front leg is straight, back knee is bent. Then I'm going to shift my weight forward. My heel will come off the baseboard. Drive forward, shift back, shift forward. Whoops. Back, forward, okay? Back, right hand reaches towards right foot. Forward, right hand reaches towards the left. Okay, we're creating a little bit of a pendulum effect where we're shifting the weight front to back. Now, we're going to get a little bit more of a challenge where we're actually going to work on being vertical. There we go. So I'm going to bring my heel off the wall just a little bit, off the baseboard. Scoop the tailbone, butt stays tight, keeping the butt underneath me. I'm staying nice and tall, down and up, okay? Now, this is probably the most important thing. Pelvis and ribs stacked, one on top of the other, just like a cylinder, just like a can. Super important. We're talking about trying to load vertically into the hip joints and use those feet to pull us into the earth, and then that way we can escape gravity. If I'm advanced, I can be reaching overhead with that right arm. I could be reaching forward with the right. I'm just going to do 2 more. And then we're going to switch, okay? So left foot behind. At first, find a inclined foot or staggered foot, okay? And then it's about a whole leg's length, which is hard to measure, but you're going to have to play with it a little bit. All I can tell you is that I'm weight shifting back. I'm using a lot of my left foot, my left heel, my left ball of foot, and the object is helping me behind so I don't fall too far back. Shift forward. All my weight becomes over into my right foot or my forward, my lead leg. Shift back, shift forward. Left hand can reach back. Left hand can reach towards the right foot. So I'm getting a little bit of core in terms of manipulating some of my torso, all right? But all my hip stabilizers, inside, outside thigh, everything hopefully is assisting and working to help me stay stable. It's okay if you're wobbly. It's okay if you fall. You just come right back and join me. Do the best you can. That's all I ask. Do the best that you can. Something is always better than nothing. Here we go. We're going down. We're going down. So your heel shouldn't touch. Your heel should be over the ball of your foot as you directly descend vertical. And again, we can practice a left arm reach up or a left arm reach out and across. So overhead reach and across. 2 more, you guys. You're doing great. Stay up on the ball of the foot. Keep most of the weight in your front leg. Woo. Okay? So it's called a single leg RDL, single leg hinge. Some of you might know it as Warrior 3, Warrior C. What we did just there is we worked a little bit more on some loading into the anterior chain through a split squat or a lunge position. Now we're going to work on loading more into the posterior chain through more of a hinge-based position, okay? So, and again, if you've ever taken one of my classes live, in real time, like in person, I know this is live, we usually measure legs length against, away from the object. So I'll have people sit on the floor, put your feet flat, find where your tailbone and butt is, stand up, turn around. That's where your foot goes. This takes away a lot of the guessing game and understanding kind of where to be in relation to my non-moving object, okay? Remember, walls are good, columns at home, doorways could work, okay? Again, just some simple reminders. So I'm going to start off with my right leg in front, my right foot in front. One of the things you want to think about, first and foremost, is shifting your weight into that right foot. Okay, remember, toes are spread left to right, integrating all of the ball of foot and the heel into the earth. And now this left leg is going to touch back behind me. What's another good reference point? Your foot should be about the same height as your knee behind you. Okay? Your foot should be about the same height as your knee. How does that look? Pretty good? Yeah, I got it. I nailed it. Nailed it! Okay? The knee should not lock because I'm still trying to practice loading into my hips. When I lock the knee, it changes the fulcrum at the hip joint, and a lot of times people will leverage their lower back. And last week we talked about low backs. Okay? Doesn't mean I can't do it. Paige could do it. Coach Paige could. But that's not what I'm going after. That's not my intention with this movement. My intention is to load into my glute med, and hamstring. Okay? Now again, I'm kind of short, super limber. I'm actually going to come forward just a little bit here. Foot on the wall. Okay? So I'm going to work on sitting back into my hip socket, allowing the torso to become almost parallel with the ground. My foot is still helping assist push me forward to stay into my right, but most of my weight is here. Okay? I should be able to be kind of light with that left foot. See, my left foot's not touching, and then it's touching, but I don't really change much in position. Bring your hands together like you're shaking your own hand. Maybe you make a gun like Charlie's Angels, or you just keep your hands in that prayer. Any of those are going to work just fine. So I'm staying here in my hinge. Okay? Left to right. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your butt should burn. If you do that well, you should be able to feel your torso working to rotate you. If you cannot, you've forgotten to stabilize your hips. We don't want any movement in the hip joint. We've split you. We've split your hips. Okay? So, left foot forward, right leg back behind. Lean a little bit into this like you're trying to get your torso parallel. Double check. You see how I'm touching my hips? I'm going to grab literally my hips, and then I'm going to shimmy my hands right up and grab right underneath the sides of my ribs. Okay, this feels cylindrical, feels long. I feel connected through the crown all the way out through my tailbone. Okay? Of course, my left side is not. There we go. Palms together, prayer hands, Charlie's Angels, tick, tock, tick, tock. Where are all my golfers at? It's almost like you're doing a little putt here. Putt. Okay? All thoracic rotation. All thoracic rotation. My left butt cheek is loaded. My right one is contracted and extended. So squeeze this butt and stay strong through the back of the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay? And again, you guys, this is what we call active mobilization. It is far better for us to try to activate lines of tissues instead of doing passive stretching. Those of you who've been following us for a long time, I'm sure you know. It's not very challenging. Might be doing it wrong. We're not always a big fan of passive stretching, although I do love to teach my yin yoga. Fire, right, Jess? Fire, fire! Fire in the hole! Okay? Good. So we worked on split stancing the hips and then distracting by moving through that upper body, okay? The upper torso. So we're going to come back down to the ground a little bit here before we get back up to our feet. This is where your pad's going to help, and I think I'll just keep the camera right where it's at. Right where it's at, darling. Okay? So you don't need the wall. You can certainly do this at home, and hopefully my cues will help. I'm going to maybe try to use this as like a reference point for you guys. Okay? Okay, so from a tall kneeling position, I want knees slightly outside the hips, and I would like to have the toes tucking under. So in other words, your ankle is flexed in the back. So again, we're kind of really strongly interested in getting the ball of foot underneath the heel to get that stuff to line up, because that's your push power. Okay? I'm going to fix this to its wide side. Tall kneel position, palms coming together. Shake your hands, make your gun, your choice. I want to emphasize again that I'm not up here high in elevation, so to speak. I'm down. My fist or wrist is in line with the lower part of my sternum or lower part of my sports bra. Work on keeping the pelvic tuck, hips coming forward. Now there's laser beams coming out of your hips, pubic bones coming up towards the belly button. In case I have forgotten, rib cage and pelvis stay stacked. So exhaling the ribs, exhale really effing hard, will drive the ribs to internally rotate. Now I've already started to work on this position, but basically we're going to use the knee as a fulcrum. Okay, and now the wall serves as a reference. Like if I didn't have my bun, I can keep the integrity of my spine from pubic bone to the crown as a long, or what some people would even dub as neutral. But I'm just saying, keep your ribs and pelvis stacked, and we're leaning back. We're practicing leaning back. Your balls of feet and your feet become your braking mechanisms to stop you from accidentally just like kerplunk. Okay, so drive hard in through the feet. And that's why you have the pad. It helps you get your foot underneath you, hopefully. Okay, we're going to go one more. Now we got to stay back here. We're going to breathe, okay? Keep your eyes on the horizon. Don't be looking down. Keep it up and ahead, beyond the fingers. And recover, okay? Now we're going to go to a half kneeling position. We're going to work again some thoracic rotation. Okay, let's go. This one's a little. I'm going to go right leg in front, left knee down on my pad or cushion, whatever I have. Okay, you guys are going to do better if you come back. How you doing, Max? Dude, you know, that tall kneeling position, I mean, it is kind of like what I am starting to call my bread and butter. A lot of my runners, a lot of my people that sit, I mean, actually just a lot of people don't tend to work on getting length through the quad. They only think about doing that as a passive stretch. So this really gives you some length in that tall kneeling position. It helps you prep your glutes and helps you kind of get things really fired up. And then that's called a sagittal plane or a bilateral movement. 2 feet, 2 legs in one, just working on, in this case, kind of a front to back movement. But now we're going to incorporate a little bit of the transverse plane and truly work on some separation. So thanks for being here, Max. Right foot in front, left knee is down, okay? So now we're working on, like I said, some transverse plane, some frontal plane stability. So my inside-outside hips have to work a lot here. Perfect case, ball of foot, ankle tucked, or ankle flexed, okay? Take a look, make sure your hips aren't dumped out, back, and behind. You want to pull that, scoop that tailbone underneath. When I do that, I want to make sure that my knee doesn't drive forward per se, okay? And I guess these pants work really well, don't they? Ankle and knee stay stacked. So when I scoop my tailbone, my knee shouldn't move locations. My femur doesn't necessarily move, just my pelvis did, okay? So for this one, I like to think of it as almost like a bow and arrow, right? I think that's probably one of our best cues we have here at the gym. I'm gonna pull my right arm back like I'm pulling back on a bow and arrow. The left arm is punching forward. And then if I have clearance, I can open up so that palm opens up all the way, thumbs up towards the sky. You need to stay here and you need to be able to breathe in this position. Now, this is where the eyes and head become a huge player, okay? If I take my vision from the front of me to the side, that becomes a bit more of a challenge. If I take my vision all the way towards the back arm, that becomes the most challenging. However, you need to practice attempting that, okay? Where the eyes and head go, the body will follow. So there's a huge connection back to the occipital nerve in those eyeballs in terms of muscle chains and what's happening in the body and proprioception, okay? It's all connected. It's all human. It's all a system. All right, so let me get back to the position one more time. Bow and arrow, pull back. I'm punching forward with my left arm into a brick wall. I'm reaching my thumb towards the ceiling and my middle finger back towards the wall behind me. Try to take my head, swivel and pivot, and release, okay? Now, stay here. Everyone doing okay? Doing okay on time. We are now going to open the rotation up to the other side. So again, I had my right leg forward, left leg down. I rotated towards the right. I opened up to the right, or rotated into the right side. We're going to rotate left. I can't drive this point home enough. You do not have the same amount of rotation into an extended hip as you do into a flexed hip. So please don't feel like you need to get the exact same, like arms parallel T shape, okay? It's not going to happen. Tailbone tucked under. Think about trying to drag your foot back if you were inside of a shoe, okay? We're still going to bow and arrow this, you guys. I'm going to punch my right arm forward, pull the bow and arrow back on the left. I should feel everything light up on this left side core. Punch forward the right. Open up the hand to the back. Fingertips reaching behind you, thumb up towards the ceiling. Can you take your eyes, your gaze, and with nothing moving, change. Okay, I gotta reset. My bad, you guys, I've been having some wonky stuff going on with my left knee, so it doesn't really love that knee tuck position. That's okay. And I got to talk through everything, right? If you haven't already, let's give you one more chance to do another rep. In fact, it's better for me to be up. This is the harder progression. Okay, Max, if you want to, elevate, hover above your object, see if you can open up, and then can you still turn your head? Okay, reset. Woo! You guys are killing it. You're doing great. Okay? So, I want to come back up to my feet. Now, I didn't mention this before. Hopefully you have some space where you're at. Okay, like a small lane. This is a little bit more, this is very indicative of our Saturday class. If you ever been to the dynamic flow, this is a great example of what we do in a D-flow class, and I'm trying to condense it into 45 minutes. Okay? So, I mentioned that we're going to be talking a little bit about eyes and head and neck. Okay? Again, super important here. So, I'll make it easy on you guys. For this first one, and I'm going to face the camera doing this, okay? I'm going to fix my eyeballs on an object in front of me, a non-moving object. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use my phone that I'm using to record this, okay? I'm going to keep my eyes fixed on that object, but turn my head left and right. So let's just practice. You can just practice that now. Look, it's like a cute girl or hot guy. You want to keep looking at them, but you're pretending like you're looking away. Okay? Don't look away. Keep your eyes forward. Now, here's the hard part, where I'm going to have you start accelerating or moving toward this object that you've decided to look at that's probably, I don't know, hopefully 12 feet away at minimum to 25 feet. Okay? Eyes stay forward. Whoops. Eyes stay on the object. I move my head left to right as I come forward. I'm practice going back. Keep your eyes on the object. Turn your head left to right. We're going to do 2 more. Shoot, I messed up there a little bit. Haha. Eyes stay forward. It's okay if you need to blink. Keep your eye on the object. Try to turn your head left to right as you move forward and you move back. There, I kind of goofed at the end. I'm so honest. Last one. Maybe you're getting better. Hopefully that's the idea. The reason why we usually do reps is because you usually get better towards the end. Left to right, but your eyes remain forward. So essentially what we just did, and I know whoever talks about eyeballs, but again, I work with a lot of golfers, and trust me, you guys, I've had at least 3 that all had cervical issues. This is a part of overcoming always looking down. And not just for my golf, but how many of you people on technology looking down at your phone, texting, watching a video on YouTube, or even just having maybe not the best posture while you're sitting at your desk. Okay, we got to move the eyes. So in this case, my eyes were staying fixed, but my head was moving. So my head was moving around the eye socket, okay? Now we're going to work, so creating some disassociation. So again, pretty good for the occipital nerve. All right, so now we're going to work on moving sideways, okay? Make it simple. Make it like a shuffle, okay? So I'm moving to my right. I'm going to look left. I'm going to move to the left, and I'm going to look right. If you're advanced and you want to try this, you can jog, or you can kind of speed it up, okay? The idea is that I'm just looking in the opposite direction that I'm going. Looking in the opposite direction that I'm going, okay? Maybe you think about a football player who has to turn his head to get ready to catch the ball. Okay? Look left, but go right. Look right, but go left. Okay? Good. That one's not as hard. There's another really fun one I like, but there's no way we can do it virtually through this whole thing. Okay? Now, don't freak out. I'm going to get kind of close to the camera. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the last one. My bad. Okay? So, for this one, maybe it's not scary for some of you, but it can be, just FYI, right? Look up towards your eyebrows, towards the crown of your head. Take your head all the way back as far as you can. Look down past your nose. Tuck your chin all the way down. Look up, look up, look up, look up, look up, look back, look back, look up, look back, look up, look back. Stare. Down, look down past the nose, look at your upper lip. Keep looking at your upper lip, almost like you're cross-eyed. One more. Take your eyes, focus up, 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 all the way in the eyebrows, past the eyebrows, crown of head, back, 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 back. Last one, down past the nose, almost like you're cross-eyed, down past the nose. Chin tuck, chin tuck, chin tuck. Good job. Your foot bone's connected to your eyeball, right? Get into whatever position feels comfortable to you. I'm just kind of coming down at this level here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to use my two thumbs to massage what's called my occipital bone, or the where the skull meets up, like at the base of the neck, so right kind of where your hairline would be. That's your occipital area. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a massage work to that area, but we're also going to do this. I'm going to look left, my head doesn't move, and look right. So just my eyes, left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. Again, this is the muscle tissue kind of connects into here, and your occipital nerve, your eyes have a lot to play into tension in and around the head, neck, and shoulders. And we just did all that great movement for your cervical spine. So sometimes it's hard to tell if something's working without having like a before and after, right? So if you've ever gotten therapy done, or I don't know, a lot of times it's like, let's test your toe touch. When we get done everything, let's test your toe touch again and see if there's been any changes, okay? But hopefully you can already just kind of feel a bunch of stuff already flowing around and things moving a little bit better through the head and neck and shoulders, okay? So as we start to wind down a little bit here, I do want to end once again with a little bit of meditation and some breath work. That's how we started class. We moved into some of the mobility. We got the heart rate up by doing some jumping stuff. And then now we're going to come back down. So we kind of climbed the mountain, and now we've descended. And I said I wanted to come back to this point like before. The idea of getting the exhalation out, expelling all the CO2, hopefully allows the diaphragm to ascend and dome into a position underneath the rib cage, which allows for maximal intake of oxygen on the second go-round, which allows, if you're doing it nasally especially, which allows nitric oxide to be produced and used, which allows blood flow to enter the lower part of the lobes and into the capillaries, and which allows more blood flow to circulate. So it just, this thing leads to this thing, which leads to this, and leads to all these better things, okay? What we know here at Premier Fitness Systems, and what I've learned now in my almost, 9 full years of coaching, is that so many people, especially as they age, adopting stress from life things, being immobile, sedentary, maybe not living, making all the best food choices, what have you, end up with a diaphragm that doesn't really move through its full range of motion. And so I look at the diaphragm just like I look at your shoulder when a client comes in to start a training program. I need to assess their joints to know what exercises I'm going to be able to do with them and what areas still need improving. And so your diaphragm is something that we usually assess, or your rib cage. Max can probably attend to this. And looking at your breathing mechanics and see how those are having an effect on your overall movement and mobility. But secondly, we are dealing with so much right now in the world. So much, you guys. So much stuff. And you may not think of yourself as somebody who's really into meditation, but even just making the smallest attempt to slow down, focus on your breathing, should give your nervous system just a slight little break. Just a little break. Just ask your boss for a lunch break. Your nervous system just needs a little break. And that's what we do with the breath and meditation. And again, there's so many different ways you guys can meditate. So if you have a really hard time sitting still and focusing on your breathing, there's candlelight meditations, there's staring into a mirror meditation, there's sitting by a body of water and maybe just listening to the sounds. It works. You guys, there's meditation apps, the Calm app, there's music, there's binaural beats, which are different wavelengths. So like megahertz, sounds like that can mimic feeling like you're in the womb or whatever, and they use these vibrations, these low tones, to help calm the nervous system. So maybe you're getting ready to go to sleep, or maybe you want to stay kind of in a focused state while you're studying. Okay, I digress, but hopefully you get it. So for this meditation, it is, again, we're going to focus on what's called equal part inhale, exhale, and a retention. Now, if you were here in the beginning, we are not going to be plugging the nose. You're just going to simply do this on your own. Sorry. So I'm just finding a comfortable seated position. You should too. Okay? Whatever feels good. The main thing here, though, is, again, from maybe a yogic perspective, or what I would call from an energetic perspective, I would like to stack, once again, it's a theme, stack my rib cage over my pelvis. So I want to be able to sit up tall. That's why having a pad or a cushion underneath your butt helps. It actually gets your hips up a little bit from the floor, lets the knees drop, and gives you better access to being tall without getting overly taxed in your back. You can allow the palms to rest facing up on top of the thighs. You can bring your thumb and first finger together for Gyan Mudra, which is a meditative connection to the brain. And allow the eyes to gently soften and close. Trying to bring the gaze right up between the eyebrows, your pineal gland, okay? This is good. We're going to draw our focus to this center point. We're going to keep the lips sealed. Allow the tongue to gently rest above on the roof of the mouth. Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Take responsibility for your own counting. Stay focused. Stay present. When I say in, that still counts as 1, so you can start moving into 5 by 5 by 5. We started off more at a 3 and a 4. So 5 in, 5 out, 5 hold. Perhaps you need a reminder. Make sure you're expanding into the abdomen, through the sternum, up into the chest. And then you're exhaling out through the abdomen, exhaling out through the chest, exhaling out through the sternum. Expansion in the lower abdomen, and then it rises up through the cylinder. And then a vacuum on a pressing out. Everything kind of caves in, concaves in, or the navel sort of draws in. Almost there. Stay with it. Stay on pace. You're doing a great job. Keep your focus and attention, counting equal part inhale, exhale, and your holds. We're down to our last 30 seconds. Take a breath in, fill all the way up, expand three-dimensionally, fronts, side, and the back. Hold that breath in for just a moment. And exhale it all out. You can sit there quietly, just kind of witnessing and becoming an observer. Are there any subtle sensations, areas of your body that you can feel or detect? Did you get any creative insights? Perhaps even a memory from childhood? These are all things that can happen as a natural response of allowing the system to regulate, reset, and repair. The best opportunity for repair and regeneration is when we're sleeping. We can't sleep all day, but we can spend these 5 minutes to focus on breathing and becoming more present and in the moment and allowing ourselves to become a little bit more calm now to conduct the rest of our days. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Unfortunately, this was our last live recording that we're going to do, at least as of now. Things tend to change day to day to day right now in the world that we're in. Who's to say this might come back later in the fall or later in the summer? I'm not sure. If you're interested in working with one of our coaches at Premier, if you've enjoyed these classes, please make sure that you send a direct message or put something in the comments below that you're interested. I can certainly post a link about the fact that we do offer online coaching, so even if you're not in the state of Arizona, or perhaps you even only live about 30 minutes away from here and the drive is kind of a little tough, we've got some options for those individuals. If you are in the area and you'd like to do some training, but maybe the one-on-one is a little out of your budget, we're about to be unrolling some awesome semi-private group training as well, too. That's going to be really great at being still budget savvy, but provide the benefits of having a personal trainer with an individualized program. Okay? So stay tuned for that, and if you want more information, again, please reach out. Lastly, but not least, as always, you guys, please click like. Something that you enjoyed, a little bit of feedback in the comments is always welcome. I love hearing from you guys. And if you happen to know somebody that you think will benefit, please tag them or share this video with them. You can certainly send it as a direct message. I will also be saving this video and posting it up on our YouTube, so that way we can share it with anybody that isn't on Facebook. Max, I really appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in from Texas. You'reTheBomb.com. Hope to see you in the gym here after a while, but if you're enjoying some lovely golf out there, kick ass, take names. That's all, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you later.